2, 3, go.
Welcome to the Australian Mining Weekly Wrap-Up, where we take you through what's been happening in the industry this week. I, as always, am Cole Latimer, the editor of Australian Mining, and next to me is Jessica Burke, our journalist.
Hello.
First off the bat,
Australian Greens leader Bob Brown has actually come out this week and said that he wants to place more pressure on the Australian government over the current draft of the mining tax. He has pretty much launched an attack on what he says is complete foreign ownership of Australian mines. The Greens have commissioned a report which found that 83% of Australian mines are foreign owned, and he also wants the tax extended beyond coal and iron to also include gold and uranium. So tomorrow the Greens will have a balance of power in the Senate from 5 to 9, so it could have a bit of an influence on whether or not they're able to push these kinds of changes through.
all right. These kind of changes, which Bob Brown has actually called for, have been slammed by Julie Gillard, who said she won't be backing down on them. And she said she's determined to be passing the tax in the original draft form. And the support, she's actually looking for support from the key independents of Tony Windsor and Rob Oakeshott. However, they've come out and said that they're undecided, but Windsor has indicated some interest in the Greens proposal. Now, Bob Brown's comments have also drawn fire from the Minerals Council of Australia, who've branded him xenophobic. Mitch Hook said that he's xenophobic for his attacks on the foreign ownership of Australian mining companies, and said all of Australia actually owns these minerals, either directly or indirectly, via share ownership, via their part playing in the community. And he said 98% of the cash flow from Australian mining operations is paid to, over the last decade, is being paid to governments through taxes, state royalties, or reinvested back into the community. Now, Hook's come out and said Bob Brown's claims show projections, not facts. So it's interesting times there.
Yeah, there's also some interesting, very political comments as well on Monday, where the current Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea, Sir Michael Somare, an affidavit has emerged that he signed when he was the opposition leader, which basically said that Rio Tinto subsidiary Bougainville Copper had a direct involvement, an active involvement, I think was the correct terminology, with the civil war in Papua New Guinea. They've since come out and said that they basically did what they had to do in times of war. And the interesting part about it is that as the current Prime Minister, his government is supporting the Bougainville copper mine being reopened, and he couldn't actually be reached for comment on whether he stands by his comments in the affidavit, because he's currently recovering from a double heart surgery. So I'm sure there's more news on that one to come. More drama in the mining industry. The 2006 Beaconsfield mine disaster in Tasmania is actually set to become a 3-hour telemovie. The Channel 9 is putting together the feature, and it will have Shane Jacobson, who rose to fame as the toilet cleaning character Kenny. He'll play Brant Webb, and Lockie Hume from Offspring will play Todd Russell. So it's being produced by Southern Star, and they say that the rescue had the tension of the Great Escape with the detail of Apollo 11. So that one should be quite interesting.
It should be. And just on the lighter side of news, a couple of reports come out over the last week or so. One came out on Friday showing that there was actually a lower divorce rate and separation rate for those working in the mining industry as compared to nationally.
But apparently they have a lower sex life.
So apparently there's less divorce and separation, but they're still not getting laid.
And moving beyond that, there has been progress at the Pike River coal mine in New Zealand, where 29 men were killed in November. They've finally made progress and actually entered the mine after it's been quite toxic and gassy for a very long time. They've made entry into the mine, and they're currently, rescue teams are going 100 metres at a time. The men are thought to be trapped about 2.3 kilometres underground, but they're also behind some rockfall, which might pose a bit of a problem in getting to them. The receivers, though, have come out today and said that they won't be funding a recovery because they can't afford it. So it's hoped that whoever does buy the mine will fund the recovery, and Prime Minister John Key is actually looking at ways to make that a clause of the condition of sale, that anyone who buys the mine will have to do a recovery effort for the bodies. So obviously, for the sake of the families of the victims, we hope that they can get to them and get them out.
Hey, well, thanks very much for watching our second edition of the Australian Mining Weekly Wrap-Up. Keep an eye out today, as our July edition is set to hit the shelves, and we'll be working towards our August edition with the features of contract mining and engineering, New South Wales spotlight, and accommodation feature. So if you've got anything interesting, get in touch with us. And if you'd like to give us some feedback on how you think this went a little better than our last one, we'd also like to hear from you. All right, thanks very much for watching.
Bye.